up in a stress. Me live me life and me not stress.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Fudinjwandi, yet again. Your lady friend on Radio Man. But right now we are on YouTube saying hashtag what happened to Spaza. That's the question is all around. So don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube, because someone is right now we are chilling with an OG of an OG of the OGest. DAT, how's it going, my brother?
No, we're good. We're good.
You good?
Yeah, we're good. Life
so
is
good to have you here. Thank you so much for honoring the appointment here and coming through to our podcast, chatting about Spaza. I think, we usually ask abantu about how did you get into it, but I feel like for you, the very first question should be kubani oqale wethi Spaza. Bano zene Spaza.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the $1 million question that everyone seems to want to know, because of everyone nowadays wants to be the first of doing whatever, and people are not are being focused on being the best in doing something, because it doesn't matter who's the first to play football, or who's the first to play boxing. What really matters is like who's the best, and I think that should have been like the main focus. But I guess it becomes valuable to everyone who's part of that culture to actually know where it comes from.
Beginnings are corner, yeah.
So I would say Spaza is an idea that came around early 90s, like 92, 93. Yeah,
way
93, 94. Way back, because that was the era where hip hop was being introduced from like the DJ and the MCing side, because the kind of hip hop we were exposed to back in the 80s was more of a dance culture. So during Iqashalama, Ivy, Mapanzula, so hip hop, break dance was done by Ivy, so it was part of a dance culture. There were no like real DJs and MCs. So that came in the 90s, So in those 90s, what had really happened is that because now we were open to go to any township or any place, unlike during the apartheid times. So in the 90s now, the clubs were getting mixed. And there was this genre of hip hop that was really taking over to the youth at that time, So we started mixing our languages into our raps. But it was like we rap in English, but you just add an Afrikaans word there and a Xhosa word there, but basically it was still English raps, so it was like, so then Spaza was that. Spaza was rapping in English and just adding words that come from different languages,
So it's not just because Kurechwang is close and then Sita is Spaza is.
No, that came later. That came with me. That came with me, and I called it Iringas, but then people who were doing Spaza sort of evolved into doing Iringas, but they kept the name Spaza. And then it happened like that. But
so let's go back to where it started for you. Where you decided, no man, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want in your very first song also, and your very first performance, you still remember?
I literally grew up in a family of musicians, and then, in a way, so I grew up in a very Pan-African Christian church, you know,
Sure.
like my grandfather is one of the people who started the church known as Ibandla likaSiqabayi.
Okay.
So he was with Uvala Matuba Siqabayi, and they started this church here in Cape Town in 1909.
Ooh.
So I literally grew up in that church, you know, so because my grandfather is part of the history of that church.
Yes,
You know. So so music is part of that thing. So I've been involved in the choral, in the choirs, in the church.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
DAT, choir?
Yeah, the church choir. So I've been up, and in every school that I went where there's an opportunity to be, I would be involved in that, you know. So, and also because my cousin's house, they had a hi-fi set there, and two of my cousins were involved in those dance cultures of the 80s. That's how I got exposed to hip hop a lot. One of them was Ivy and the other one was Pantsula, you know. So they would bring their friends at different times of the day, you know. When I'm Ivy are there in the stoop there, it's just b-boying and Michael Jackson and everything, you know. And when the other one, Oli Pantsula, is at home, it's all Chico, Messi Pakela, and you know, and yeah. So so I grew up around those people. So yeah, so it was just an ongoing influence, you know, of music.
Do you remember
that I
your
can't.
very first song, Iringas or Spaza? Did you start writing songs? Would you categorize ingoma yakho yokuqala as yayikho Spaza okanye yayikho Iringas?
Nah, because the thing is, you know, for me, Spaza was not enough.
Okay.
I was not interested in Spaza when everyone was trying to mix languages, you know, and do this. If I was rapping in English, I was just rapping in English, you know. I was never interested in the mixture of languages.
Okay.
And you must remember, Spaza was not meant to be Xhosa raps.
Okay.
It was mainly English, where you just adding Xhosa words, you know. So it was not like, yeah.
So the name Spaza then,
It would be like- like it's a mixed, you know, a shop.
Yeah.
It's got like different items.
Yeah.
So like,
Items, the brand is different.
yeah, you know,
Okay.
in one shop, you know,
Yeah.
Spaza shop, you know. So that was the idea. So it's like in English, but you can add a Tswana word
can
there. You can, you know, I will smoke you like impondo, you know, kick you in the face until ukukenga madolo. So, you know, like, so it would be an English rhyme or an English verse with Xhosa rhymes, Afrikaans rhymes, and there was a lot of Afrikaans
In Spaza.
in Spaza when it started, you know
Okay.
what I mean? Because
Okay.
like we're in Cape Town, so we very much Afrikaans, you know, the Afrikaps, if I may call it that way, you know. So it was like, so I was never interested in that style of
Okay.
rapping, you know. So it just me rapping in Xhosa came from a frustration. You know, a frustration. I guess anyone who's suppressed,
Yeah.
they just evolve and become something. So there was a thing that in the 90s, hip hop artists were excluded. We were not really accepted because of the language that we were using.
Okay.
Right. And I think Spaza was one of the ways that hip hop artists were trying to
change izinto.
you know
So
what I mean?
Okay.
But it was still not enough because it was too much English in it, you know, and you know, and then the English in South Africa is not the same as the English in America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even that didn't make it South African enough, you know, because still we would be accenting the Negro accent and, you know, like wording the words the way Negroes are wording their words in America. So it wasn't, still, it didn't sound...
Didn't say home.
It didn't say home, you know what I mean? So for me, it was a frustration because I think who really actually light up the bulb in my head is a guy called Ubeki Ndlovu, you know. He's a choreographer. He's been involved in many things, you know, and I once was involved in a theater group in the townships in Luyolo Center there, you know, when I was a teenager. And this guy was one of our coaches who would just come. I remember there was also a guy called Putlwazi. He was also a presenter on the Cape at 6 News. He was also one of our coaches who would come there, give us some tips on how to act, on how to, you know, to sing, you know, the
stage presence and all of that.
You know, all of that, you know. So we spent our time like that. Yeah, a group of thugs, you know, sitting in the corner there, smoking weed all day. And then one day, any sister Iringas out of the blue just came, girls, you know, and they're like, yo, we got this group and we would like some guys, you know, some boys, because it's only girls, you know, so we want some boys to be involved. And we're like,
we know by attraction.
Yeah, so like, okay, where is it happening? No, just come and then, you know, we'll start our rehearsal there. So we got there, you know, and it was a nice vibe, you know. We had weekends where nice. You know, but yeah, it was a nice thing. So there I met Ubeki Ndlovu and we clicked a lot, you know. Yeah, and he would say to me, you know what, the reason Kwaito is actually like being given so much attention is that these guys are using South African languages.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys, you are rapping in English that is not even South African.
Sure.
And then I think that really hit me, because then when I wrote my first verse, I presented it to him.
Okay.
To say, yo,
what do you think?
What do you think of this? Yo, his answer there. I remember we were sitting in his blue old school OD, you know, and and he was like, yo, my brother, what you just did now, it's like out of this world.
Wow.
And now in the market, they ran out of ideas. They're just recycling things now, you know, and you can hear what they're singing about. Yeah,
because they are released and it sounds like something you've heard before. Yeah.
And then he said, you need to hide this. You know, like he said it with such fear in his face, like, yo, you need to hide this.
Wow.
They're going to steal your idea and, you know. Okay. So for me, when he said that, you know, it's like, okay, I took one glimpse at what he was saying, but then I had something else. You see, what I wrote about, even when I was writing and rapping in English, was not about what's happening in America.
Okay.
I was writing about my surroundings in Kukuletu, you know, where I grew up. But then people who would listen to me standing there on stage and rapping in this American accent, they were not aware that I'm rapping about my township.
Because they're concentrating on how you are.
Yeah, so they would quickly dismiss me as this American wannabe. So when he said to me, I need to hide this, that was impossible for me to do because I had so much to say.
Yeah, and you want people to hear you.
I actually want people to hear me. So like I was like, what is this? He's like, yo, this is a bomb idea, man. You know, no one has done this. You know, you need to hide this. They're going to steal your idea. You know, I was like, yeah, well, but you know what? I continued.
Yeah.
So I kept.
And do you regret continuing?
No. I don't regret continuing because right now I see a lot of me's that I don't even recognize. Like I don't even know their names, but I'll be like there's too many of me's right now, you know, and like you know, people are fighting over who's the first to do Spaza, and they don't even know what was Spaza and how Spaza started. And then later on, there are people who are claiming they invented Iringas, and they don't even know what was Iringas and who started Iringas. You know, so like I'll say it straight and bold. You know, I started Iringas in 1995. You know, and Spaza was started at Club Angels.
Primary school at that time.
At Club Angels, bruh. That's where Spaza was started. And it was started a year earlier than Iringas.
Wow.
Because we started rapping and attending those things. 93 I was an MC. And a lot of us started exactly in that year.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the guys who came before us, they were doing dancehall and reggae. Because that was the culture that was dominating. Because you must remember, through the gang wars that started in 1985, all the Mapantsulas and Ivies became gangsters. And that culture died out because of that. While the Rasta culture, also that it was also there. It did not die out. It sustained. So they collected instruments. They collected mics. You know. So by the time, you know, we were in a new South Africa, if you want access to the mic, you have to be linked up with the Rasta man.
Okay.
It's them who have the equipment. You know?
Talking about that, so who would you say is your inspiration? Who inspired DAT?
Muslema.
Ne?
Yeah, Muslema. Monwabisi. Yayihlala apha eLittle Park. Back then, indleko kwabo yayinguzimele geqe because yayime yodwa kulithafa lonke le ndawo le. Yawusahlawumbe umjilo uhlala kwazimele geqe. I think indleko kwabo yayikulicala man. Ngekakhiwa qha a lot of these houses, but yayilapha kule area, you know,
what did he do?
He was a Rasta, right? And we became friends in high school. It was my first year in high school. And I was starting my high school up at Khayelitsha, Matthew Goniwe. So that's where I met Uslema, you know. I didn't last in that school because there was too much toys happening, and that school was like a kind of a school that would actually...
What was it about Uslema that made you decide, wow, this is my guy?
You know, it's side B, ne? Let me put it like this. It's side B. Back in 93, there was literally no one who was a teenager who was born there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was a place where everyone just arrived. Yeah. So it was easy to identify Cape Townians through your accent. So we were in this school where it's like people from all over the country, Eastern Cape, and they all have different accents. But when you speak to someone who's from here, you could hear the accent. So it was like organic, where people who are originally Cape Townians, exactly, they just formed.
They just thought about you like, hi.
You know, because it's Xhosa's fun, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it happened like that. So there was this school inside B, which is like a township that just started, you know, it just started after, it was like what, 86, 87, and now we are in 1993. So the kids who were born inside B, they were still crawling, you know, so all the kids who were our age, they were not born there, they came from somewhere else, you know, so that's how me and Slema like first got connected, you know what I mean, because then we would come from a background of understanding each other, you know. Then from there we would go Glamour Rasta Pansque Bridge by side B, and those guys, they would sometimes band by the station, you know, and they just play. So Slammer, they would get on the mic, you know, and do their dancehall ragamuffin, and you know, and I was like, okay, now this is I like this, you know, like I want to do this, you know. So it wasn't an easy ride, you know, because it was like no one was actually gonna teach me like from basics. Everyone just throws a mic at you. You
do what you can do.
Yeah, do something, man. You know, I got a little flu.
No problem.
So everyone would just throw things at you, you know. Like do something, man. You'll get a microphone and you will just I would sing, you know. Sometimes Slammer would just battle me, you know, like just diss me how whack I am. You know? Yeah. Yeah, you know. So it was not an easy thing, but I remember him. I think it was 98, if not 97, and we were in Langa, and I think it was the first time he heard me perform and rap in Xhosa.
Okay.
He actually came to me to bow and said, you see that right now, you are a god. You know, and when he said that,
you were like, yeah, I know.
Then like I was like, I don't care what anybody say, you know, like
can stop.
I mean, Uslema ain't no big guy like a Dr. Dre type of a guy who's been it's just an ordinary cat from the hood, you know, like you know, but
to you.
To me, you know, yeah, I give him those props because he even tried to connect me with new brothers as a cooks, you know, who are doing the same thing, you know, mainly a kakyat, you know, and I couldn't find that love that he gave to me, you know what I mean, that made me want to be around him and doing what he does, you know what I mean. So yeah, I would go visit Machiteni, Chronicler, no Crosby or Zorro, but I couldn't really click with them, you know what I mean. So I guess because of Slema and again and then the following year
the distance.
my parents were like, nah, we're not doing government schools anymore. This is nonsense. You guys are not doing anything at school. It's toi after toi. So then I was moved to a private school. So then Nano Slam, our connection was no longer. Then I had to be on my own. So then
Do you remember your very first performance, Iringas, and how that was received, moving from a performer in English and neza accent zangapha now to Iringas after ubonise lo putwati don't show to anyone. Now you're performing it for the very first time. Do you remember where that was?
I remember. It was a Club Angels. It was 1995. And we were doing a song saying Zia Hepena. I had a group called the Black G Flow.
Okay.
And so that was the first time everybody ever heard someone rapping in Xhosa straight.
Okay.
That people were silent throughout the song.
Really?
Like
the entire performance.
You know, that was a hip hop club, right? It would get rowdy. But
yeah.
When we performed, and on that day, what had happened is that the previous week we were there on the lineup and we didn't get to perform.
Okay.
Because the Colored Brothers decided to have a battle.
Okay.
And they started that and our performance was cancelled. So we came again next week, you know, and I was telling the DJ, listen, man, you can't do this to me. You know, I pay 10 Rand to get at the door, you know, every Saturday, you know, at least give me a chance to just do my open mic thing, you know. So right then he gave us the opportunity, like, no, you're going to perform. So when he gave us that opportunity and we came in, first of all, we used a beat that was not hip hop.
Okay.
That was another shock because we came with a Kwaito beat.
Okay. Was that intentional?
It was intentional.
Okay.
You know, like it was intentional.
Part of the
you
plan.
know, it was like, this is what's going to make it. Like, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to come like this. Because you must remember what was driving me.
Yeah.
Was the fact that Kwaito is taking over and these guys are not lyrically creative. Like what I saw in the Kwaito genre at that time was that these are dancers and producers.
Not so much.
None of them are lyricists, none of them are vocalists. You know, it's just dancers and producers. You know what I mean? This genre needs lyricists. That was my mindset. This genre needs lyricists.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So now you're performing. People are sitting down.
People are like, what
are you
hell?
thinking? Are you thinking Masiek?
No. They were like, they're not even there.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I don't care.
We were doing our thing. You know, we were looking at them doing our thing. And we could see the shock. Like some other niggas are like, are these guys for real doing some quite dope thing?
You know, you are on
you know, like, and we were on that tip, you know, we did it, and they didn't know that I've got a verse coming, because the song we were singing, right?
Okay.
The hook was singing. I remember, what was it saying? Zia hepena, zia vora, zia hepena, zia. So we would do this with a melody, you know what I mean? And then comes my nigga Uzwai there on a dancehall tip, you know, like in Xhosa.
Okay.
And that was like, huh? And then later on the hook, and then comes me, you know, with the last verse where I just rap on that thing, you know, and the beat was like, it had scratches there and the bridge, you know, exactly. So like, by the end of the song when we're singing, the people are singing with us and everyone forgot that we actually came on a hip-hop show and performed on a Kwaito beat.
Yeah.
From then, the DJ recognized us. It's like, no. Next time you
were the shit in the building now.
So yeah, you know, and a lot of, and then after then, we just kept dropping songs like that.
And
you know,
in your experience, what does it mean? A crowd is like it just sits down and you get no reaction. What does it mean in your reaction? It doesn't mean we are better, or it could be that they are listening thoroughly.
You know, for me, I always prefer that.
Ne?
But I never get that.
But sit down.
No, bro. You know, like I never get that. Sometimes I really wish they could just sit down and listen to. You know, like I write songs about serious issues, and I'm being serious when I'm putting them out there.
Yeah.
And then people just laugh. People like hear comedy.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think maybe the truth is funny. I think when you're saying something that people are thinking, but they're scared to say it, and you say
like
it sounds funny, I guess, you know, because that's the reaction I get, you know.
Like, isn't it in the delivery? Yeah.
But that's the thing. My intention is not to be funny. I'm being serious, but I just sound funny.
Because yes, it's funny you mentioned that, because a lot of the cats within the Spaza movement, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the city, and then the Spaza. But when you hear, or when you listen to Mkulo, when you recognize the Spaza, but
exactly.
You know, it's Spaza, Sinobu comedy. So now that you are saying this,
maybe that's how they heard it. You see, for me, right, I was not the one who was gonna say I'm doing Spaza, because what I was doing was not Spaza. I was doing Iringas, you know. And then niggas who were doing Spaza, they changed from doing Spaza and they started doing Iringas, and they called it Spaza, you know. And I kept calling what I do Iringas, but then if people say, yo, DAT man, the Spaza rapper, I wouldn't go against that. You know, as I don't go against anyone who's like, yo, DAT king of Spaza. I don't go against that. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's how you feel. It's your opinion.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So then, I'm not really concerned how people categorize me, because if I was to do a painting, an abstract painting, and before you buy it, you ask me, what does it mean? Then there's no reason for you to buy it. Yeah. Because you're not seeing the story. You know what I mean? So then you still want me to then it's not for you. It's for the one who's going to see that painting and relate to it and be like, I want this painting in my house. You know what I mean? So
what's your take, Kwaba, Bati? Spaza comedic. What would you say to them?
Well,
comedy, even Bati go as far as saying Iringas comedy.
I think they just been limited as to how much Spaza they've been listening to. I mean, I'm the first guy, right, to rap in Xhosa, and never been on TV, never been on radio or the Giants. You know what I mean? Yes, and yeah. So I've been the guy who's actually like creating my own arena, because I'm from the Western Cape, and I've struggled because of my color, you know, I had to be colored to actually get to what I wanted to do, but because I'm not colored, and then that actually had a sense of like, I don't belong in this, you know, like in this city, you know, the same city where my mom was born, my father was born, my grandparents were born, but I got treated in terms of arts as an outsider. So there was no way for me to actually penetrate in the commercial arenas that were already there, you know, considering that this hip hop that we was doing was not even accepted as art by our own people in the first place. So then, you know, then I had to create my own arenas, you know, with everyone else who was part of the culture. We had to actually get into a mindset of creating our own arenas where we can actually play and do what we do, you know, which led to the culture that you even grow up in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was going to say, talking about creating is space for to be accepted in Guba as co-accepted.
Yes.
You created HipHop Kaslam.
Yes.
Wow. I think my journey started picking up there more than anything.
Yeah.
Where did the idea come from? Because now I'm getting the jinx of because we're not accepted because you were like, how about? Because you know why I'm asking?
Yes.
Nowadays you find there's artists abana mentality okay, asibizwa kwi-events ezithile ziyenzeka, for instance kukhona indawo ngokwezinkulu apha elokishini but kubizwa i-artist yabona from outside, so they decide to do events ngokwabo up, but then there's issues within because ezinye artists are like but
I know
awufuna usibhatala into ethile. What's your take in all of that? And what made you uba ungene pha and create as a space and still continue with as a politics zakhona?
Well, I would say for me, it's also oppression. Because now, when the genre that was called Spaza was taking over, because now, at first, this was a challenge because the equipment, you must remember, it belonged to a certain culture that we were not part of, the Rasta culture, you know. And we would get challenges like we come on stage and everyone gives us attention because we speak their language. They can understand what we are saying, you know, and we're giving them hip hop, but the hip hop, it's in their language, you know. And this would actually create a friction because the Rastas, this is their equipment, you know, they want to shine, you know. So like whenever the audience starts to pack around and then you remember those days? Rasta, and then people start moving away again, and then and there's no one there, you know. But when you like want to rap your first verse, your second verse, people are coming to listen. So we went through those things, you know what I mean, where we were just used to just bring people, you know, and these people, so it was that type of a challenge, you know, as well, you know, where we actually needed to create our own arenas. And then the second one was that Cape Town actually made its mark in the hip-hop culture, like in terms of the whole world, you know, through the likes of the POC and the Prophets of the City, you know, and many other like Ready D, you know, Real Rosanos, you know, the Black Noise, you know, and you would notice all these are colored guys, you know, because in the city, being black is illegal. Not that they weren't, you know, in their era who could, but because you had to be colored to qualify. So, all right, then it's not something we can blame to the colored brothers because it's not them who designed the system, you know. So like they just Now with Lando came the politics. Came the politics. So for me, I wasn't about to be part of that friction between. So I would just do what I can and take what I'm receiving and just you know and stay out of beef. Try not to beef with anyone. You know, and that's been my motto. And then it got to a point whereby now when hip hop got some sort of a recognition, as I say, and Cape Town being like the home of hip hop, you know, right there and then we started seeing now black artists actually getting booked, you know, and not all of us from the townships are poor, right? So some kids are privileged, you know. Some kids, they could be a group of privileged kids. They can ask money from their parents and they hook up and then they hire a place somewhere in town and we would go there and we do a show. But isn't in that way, you know. So it was a situation like that. But then it was excluding Spaza. Because then Spaza was like raw township, like Lokshin 99, no compromise. Now that, the Iringas, you know, we didn't have to have our pants falling and all of that, you know, like straight up Pansula Lokshin mentality, you know. So then there was a sense of, nah, this type of raps won't make it to the world, to the world charts or whatever. So all of those with that belief or that mindset, then they managed to organize events. They managed to feature with artists from foreign who were coming to South Africa, you know, they managed to do these gigs and they did not include Spaza. Now that's how HipHop Kaslam came to be, because when I realized, wait a minute, in the open mics, in the park jams, a majority of people who actually attend these hip hop shows, they are there for Spaza.
Yeah.
But then Spaza doesn't have its own audience. We are Siastuza, you know, it's a reggae event, and then there's some open mic for these Spaza artists to do their thing.
Yeah.
It's a gospel event featuring these two artists. You know, it's you know, so like Spaza didn't, you know, really it's always been featured.
Did not have a home.
Yeah, and no one saw the need to actually book artist Spaza, because it's like you don't even have audience. The city of Cape Town, when they're doing these festivals, you know, like they would have gospel there, they would have, because these are the people that they know that this culture exists, it's got this audience, this following, and this Spaza did not have. Yet we knew that there's more people about Mamela Spaza in the townships than any other thing. Than, you know what I mean? That actually came from our townships, you know. So HipHop Kaslam was actually my way of actually filtering out the Spaza fans, the Spaza followers, the Spaza
showing
people.
Them, but you think that I'm not following, let's show
then
you.
Spaza's got its own audience. That's what I was trying to. So I didn't name it Spaza, right?
Yeah.
I called what I was doing Iringas.
Yeah. Someone
else decided to call it Spaza. I'm okay with that. Like, I ain't got no reason to be fighting over what is it called. Yeah. It's there. It exists. You know what I mean? So my focus was actually to brand it.
Because it's there now.
It's there. It needed studios. It needed dancers. It needed promoters, it needed awards, it needed TV shows, it needed radio shows, all of that. It needed all of that. And I'm just sad that at that time, I'm the only one who understood what it needs. Because then, as I was doing it, people fought me for actually trying to put them on the map. You know,
and what you say to Ababandu Bati, because I'm pretty sure there still are people out there abazoguti, but that you made money when away mali, because the way he talks is injalo.
You see that even those talks, they came from people who were not willing to understand the thing, because this was the thing. Everyone was doing a show, they would invite their own friends.
Okay,
you know. If DAT is performing, obviously Ushuga is featuring because Mbinji got DAT, obvious, and then you started seeing these clicks. Now that was the thing I didn't like. If you notice, I had no click. I belong to no click. Even today, I belong to no click.
Okay.
If I do something, you know, like that was always me. I had no like click based on anything. You good at what you do. I don't care like who you are, where you come from. I vouch for that one. You know what I mean? For me, like you just good at what you do, then you belong here. You know? So there was that thing of it clicks, that when I was doing HipHop Kaslam, I did not want to actually be the one who decides who is going to perform on the next show.
Because
exactly. True.
Yeah.
So what I would do, the first artist that I had selected, I would ask them to bring a supporting act.
Okay.
Bring another artist whom you believe would be good in the HipHop Kaslam stage to just open for you.
Okay.
So then all the artists that were opening for the artists who were performing, they were the artists who are gonna be the next main act.
Next time.
And then they can, because there's a lot of artists that I don't know, that you may know, that you know what I mean? So I didn't want to be...
That was actually a dope idea.
But then the problem came from those artists who were brought in as supporting acts. They wanted to be paid.
Oh, because now they're like,
And
yeah,
then they're the ones who go around spreading these rumors.
oh, now they're like,
Exactly, but it's like we only paying 3 artists.
Yeah.
And we ask these 3 artists to bring supporting acts, whomever they feel this guy in the next show should be in the main lineup.
And those things used to happen all the time, because I remember the very first time Reason came into picture, wayeziswe ngutumi kubhukwe utumi ku-event, Reason opened for utumi.
Exactly.
And at that time, no one knew Reason.
Yeah.
No one knew Reason at that time.
So
these things used to happen.
Exactly. So I was just doing, because I knew there will be artists that I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
That they exist.
And we were surprised because we were like, hey, who's this guy? And he's like, no, this guy will open for me.
Yeah.
Like, but he's like, no, he opens for me.
And then came the awards. Okay. The awards had no budget. 0 budget. So guess where the money that made the Crystal Awards? From my pocket.
Your own pocket.
So, like, who should I pay?
With what?
With what? You get what I mean? And then on the other side, the venue that I'm using, which is Baxter Theatre, the agreement is that they're taking 30% from the door takes. But guess what? The 30% they take before all deductions. So I'm the one who's paying for the yellow door, for the compu ticket, for the...
Sure.
All the uses of the things that are paid for, they get deducted from that money. And then what is left from that, then I can divide between the artist, the engineer, whoever we put there, the presenters, you know, and like, gone. You know, it was like that. So like, there was not even a bank account that belonged to HipHop Kaslam where we can actually have money.
Get to that point.
No, like I didn't want it to get to that point. I wanted everyone to lemali my pele. Like I don't want nothing attached to me.
Yeah.
That was my mindset from the get-go. That's why I'm confident to say I'm the one who spent money to put people on the map. I took no money. I didn't even have a bank account here, HipHop Kaslam, Gamabom, so that yonke imali ezayo mayisebenze iphele. Umuntu mayibese empokotweni yomuntu ingabi sengcoweni. There was no ngcowa ye HipHop Kaslam. You know, and we did not rely on any sponsors. And I can tell you, at Baxter's, when we started, everything we would ask for, you know, they would be like, well, we don't have sponsor for that. We don't have funding. Well, your show is not yet, you know, known. And I had these chairs that I had to preserve for funders. People who would be invited by Baxter Theatre to come see what, you know what I mean? So we had these chairs that would be excluded there, that these people are sitting there. And guess what? When the money came, Baxter Theatre started another event that actually went opposite what I was doing, because there was HipHop Kaslam bringing together all the Spaza people from the beat makers, filmmakers, MCs, singers, you know, dancers, and audience, all together, feeling like a family, that even after the show, we want to go somewhere and have an after party, you know what I mean? And then when the money came, that was supposed to come to HipHop Kaslam, it was another project was started, and that project actually created beef.
Again.
And then it separated people, because now people started having beef. People
beef over the money, or what was the beef about?
Yeah, the money was used to create beef, because this is what happened. I can tell you this. I know hip hop A to Z. You know, I know what is beef and I know what is battle.
Okay.
Let's talk about a battle.
Yeah.
A battle show. If I'm going to host a battle show, I'm saying there's a battle show. All MCs who want to battle, this is how you get involved.
Yeah.
Right? All the MCs, they send in their names, they book themselves in. None of them know who's gonna be battling that day.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
They don't know their opponent.
No.
Okay.
No one knows. And then we put all the names in the hat. On the day, everyone is here. You know what I mean? And then we shake the hat. And then I pick a name. Yo, Banbani, DAT, you know, show up. Yeah, then DAT comes up, you know, yeah, sure. Now Pinuk Sheikh Umwazi, pick up a name. Now DAT puts his hand in the hat and point 2, yeah, point 2. Then point 2 didn't know he was gonna battle that. That didn't know he was gonna battle point 2. So when we come on stage, I ain't got nothing personal on point two, so I'm gonna diss him on what he's wearing, on his sneakers, the way his face look. You know what I mean? He's gonna do the same to me. At the end of the day, we're gonna be both laughing, and at the end of the battle, we'll be shaking hands. No animosity. But if you're gonna say DAT and point two are gonna have a battle in 3 months, is that a battle or beef?
No,
Exactly.
At that time.
So the money that was supposed to come to HipHop Kaslam to enhance the unity that we were already building in the culture was used to bring division. And that's how Spaza was destroyed.
Who did that though? Who did that?
Well, there were many people involved in there. There was Utami Mbongwa, Lara Foot, the CEO, Baxter Theatre. Zabalaza, who's this guy? There was this guy who was always on the show. He had dreadlocks. One said Delft. You know, and I forget their names. This guy, and the other one who owns a theater in Site C. What's that guy?
Site C and Site B.
Site B.
Yeah. What's his name? Mandisi.
Mandisi. Yeah, Mandisi. Tamimbongwa. Who's this boy, man? I said Delft, man. This fat guy, this big guy, you know, like, huh?
Mawande.
Yeah. Mawande. You know, and they had this money that they only, all that was required is to create beef. So that's what they did, bruh. Like every time, bruh. You know. Yeah, and look at these characters. Tell me, which one of them was part of the Spaza culture?
No.
Exactly. You see? Exactly. So, like, these were people who were not concerned about the future is Spaza. They were just concerned about the money that they will be making. And what did that create at the end? MCs hated each other. You know, all the beefs that I squashed, bringing people together in the backstage, you know, like having artists that didn't like each other, liking each other. All of that went down the drain. Because these niggas were just...
now, Kuki involvement.
You see,
do you think, with that being said, do you think that Spaza is dead?
Well, I don't think the music or the genre on its own, it's dead. You know?
The movement?
But I think the movement is dead. And I think the movement has been dead since I decided, you know what, these are a bunch of unselfish, ungrateful bastards. I'm not spending my money on these idiots anymore. Like, they just don't see the bigger picture. You know? When I got to that mindset, and I stepped back, I saw things deteriorating. I saw everyone who was saying to me, yeah, you hating because I saw them shutting up when things like no one is talking now anymore. Instead, you know what's happening? People are hollering at me. Dad, bring back HipHop Kaslam Awards.
I've had a few inboxes.
My inboxes.
I've had a few
I'm telling you.
I'm like,
people are like, bring back HipHop Kaslam. I'm like, now you know what was... Like when I was warning you guys, don't be part of that. This is to sabotage what I'm doing for you. No one, let others now. Where are they? What are they doing now for Spaza?
I said to
they
people,
only contributed to destroy it. That's the only contribution they did.
Who?
They only contributed to destroy it. It doesn't matter even if, you know, sometimes you can unintentionally do something. Yeah, because you're not seeing the bigger picture. So I'm not saying they were intending to destroy Spaza, but what they did literally destroyed the culture.
Sure.
You know, and they should feel like responsible, you know, that we actually destroyed something that was originally Cape Townian.
Because I'm thinking,
you know,
were you not open to working together with Abandu?
I was always.
That Abandu will decide, let's move away from him, let's start our own.
I was always.
Did you get such conversations? Because Abandu never wanted to work. Did they ask?
You see, some people can just easily become pawns in a game of chess.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think anyone who was involved in destroying this Spaza, like they are on that mission. I think the mission was to destroy Spaza. The mission was to destroy what I was building, because it was becoming a powerhouse. Because you must remember, Baxter, before HipHop Kaslam, couldn't fill the theater with black youths. Yes. So now the power that I had over them, that I could actually make what they tried to do for the past 10 years actually exist.
Happen,
And then I'm not an ass kisser, so they can't control me and tell me I make it the way I would like it to run. You know what I mean? And the only thing that they couldn't give me was the funding, because I did not want artists to be paid from the door takes. I wanted a funder so that I know exactly we pay an artist this much, so that the money that comes from the door take can actually pay for everything else. But then, no, we don't have people who are willing to fund this yet. It hasn't. But every time we have a show, we have chairs for people who are potential funders who come there. So I truly believe that funders did surface, and they were like, no, we want this hip hop thing. We got some money to give to it. So when there was money for it, then HipHop Kaslam now was excluded. Now a new thing was started, and they called it a battle show. But it was not a battle show. It was a beef show. It was a beef, bruh, because things went personal there.
Yeah, things were very personal.
Exactly. So you don't call that a battle. A battle is friendly.
Because a lot of diss tracks started surfacing. Like your madness diss tracks. Dissing Pizo. And because I'll find out the story about why it is Pizo. Pizo has no idea about what means and I'll find out so he didn't even have he preferred her with Upizo, but he was just beefing.
So I don't really blame those guys who contributed. They just saw money. There was money, and what they were looking at is like how they gonna actually
something now
on this money. Which
do you think it can to revive a movement? Yes, Spaza? Now that you've said about
I think what would revive a movement, yes, Spaza, is the same mindset that Spaza had before we got to that level.
From the beginning.
Exactly. Which was like, listen, no one is going to do anything for us.
No one is coming.
Yeah. So we must make our own. So we made our own studios. We created our own arenas. We created our own shows. So it was that.
Yeah.
But then at that point of beefs, it was not by us. Someone else who was outside the hip hop culture created that and actually brought in money, because to humiliate the next person on a personal level, you would get paid for it.
Yeah.
You would get paid for
20 years later, artists are still saying the same. They don't get invites. Big events that are happening.
Yeah.
Even with the developments in the community.
No one is seeing the audience in Spaza now anymore. Because if you really look at it, like a lot of guys actually like took off after HipHop Kaslam. Like South African hip hop awards came being inspired by HipHop Kaslam awards. So a lot of techniques that you see right now, people are using the teaser shows to that came from HipHop Kaslam.
There's a thing about most artists. They made it through All NYs, and there's a thing about you also are one of those artists that got your fame from All NYs. Do you agree?
I would say All NYs contributed in actually doing that.
Okay,
but I wouldn't say
that's where you got your fame.
Yeah, because remember, I was there before there was All NYs. So when All NYs came, I was already there. Like Upizo, Umakhoseni.
Yeah.
These are kids who actually came to and they came to Arena. I remember the first time, like I met them. I would hang with them, you know, when we would host events together. They were too much on the beef battling thing, you know, and I set them down and be like, yo, listen, guys, you know what? The people you're dissing, no one cares. You know, whoever you're making a battle song about is someone no one cares to know. Like, you know, why don't you talk about things that people really care about? Things that are really people live with.
Yeah.
And Umakhoseni switched from that dissing, battling mindset into coming up with something fruitful, and it took off.
Yeah.
You know, Uvechita, yeah. I'm the one I created arenas for them. Or Timo, Abdul Aziz.
Yes,
yeah, like
yes.
Tesmana was not even interested in signing this guy as his artist, you know, but I was interested in putting this guy on stage. I didn't care, you know what I mean? Utaisi, if he was still alive, he would attest to that. I turned the tavern as a Barcelona into a nightclub. That was before All NYs.
Okay.
You know, so when the All NYs started, you know what I mean? And now I brought a crew that was already, I brought a gang of artists that actually like made the All NY the show.
Okay.
They came with me. But the people who were organizing the All NYs did not know that this is like my crew. Because they don't know this is my crew, these are my kids. I hang with these guys every weekend. Pizzo, we would meet every Saturday. Friday, Saturday, I'm with Pizzo, I'm with Makhoseni, I'm with Vegeta, I'm with Waka. Like, who else, man? I can name. I'm with Utaisi. You know what I mean? I'm with some of these guys. They even passed away. On Megiliche, you know what I mean? I was with these guys every Friday and Saturday before you All NYs.
So they can't say you got your fame there.
Nah.
But now, what would you say? What happened to Spaza? What do you think happened to Spaza?
We allowed outsiders to divide us. That's what happened.
As simple as that.
Simple as that. We allowed people who have no desire for a future in Spaza.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're not trying to build Spaza. They're just trying to make money from Spaza now that it's the hype thing.
Yeah.
Everyone who's designing clothes now suddenly want their clothes to be modeled by artists as Spaza. You know, like like Spaza was that thing now. You know, it was a train for everyone to jump in and make their name.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know what I mean?
Actually.
And these people were not in it to actually empower Spaza. They were in it for what they would get out of Spaza. So while the Spaza artists were hungry, some people managed to make money from the hungry artists as Spaza.
Do you think it's also division that caused, because there was a comment that was made during, obviously, podcast episodes, but when Ezine is the artist that made it, they didn't pull up abanye from Spaza. Something that you did when All NY started, you pulled up Pizzo, because Pizzo said that's where they got their fame. So, and I was like, plain out, say it. The only Spaza artist we know made it to national doors is Drimanskap. So are you saying Drimanskap did not pull abanye bantu? So it makes it look like yaqala pha mhlambe izinto moshakala.
Well, the truth is there. You can see it. It cannot be hidden. You know, it's not even what's who says.
Yeah.
It's about what's been said.
What's been done.
Is it what's been done? Yeah? Okay, now let's look at it this way. The first artist that came from Spaza that got signed to that level, Uratex. Yeah, right. And then Uratex brought in Itrimanskap.
Okay.
You know, because he had them featuring in his album. And then, you know? Yeah. And then when Itrimanskap was there, brought in no one. I mean, this is like a fact. I'm not saying
it is a fact.
You know, like I'm not saying whoever did what. Like I'm just saying what really happened. Right? Yeah. Uratex was brought in there by Ukhamwa. From what I hear, the last time I spoke to Uratex, and you know, so I don't know Ukhamwa if he was a member of the Pioneer. I don't know, but Ukhamwa was the one who linked him up. It's good. These guys were same group Maniac Squad. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So Glenda, unity that you're talking about, we saw that happening with Uretex when he brought it to Manska, and then it stopped with the
then
we're running out of time. Like, we can't have such conversations with DAT and do it for it. You probably can't. So let's continue this conversation in a bit. All right, talking about le unity that uti it was destroyed by Abanda Batile, that bona were not in it for longer, or a picture a broader. Then that means even with some of his Spaza artists, there was some sort of umona game adich okanye, because why do you think Iringas stopped pull abantu whereas they were pulled up now?
Yeah, hey, you see, let me put it in this picture. If someone uzelwe today uyi heir to a throne, uzaba a king, normally uzofihlwa kwi family yakulo mama wakhe, angaziwa uphi, because like an heir to the throne, it's someone who needs to angabulawa because exactly. You know what I mean? So, ibanjalo, you know. So, the people who actually destroyed Spaza, they were not aware that is what they are doing.
Okay.
They are destroying Spaza. Theirs was more of, we are eating off Spaza.
Okay.
It was not like, we are destroying Spaza, we are eating off Spaza, but because
wasn't it going to be about money eventually, because
oh yes, of course, but then this is the thing, bruh, money was gonna come, money was coming. It just needed the right steps. Hence I'm saying Spaza needed to have its dancers, Spaza needed to have its filmmakers, Spaza needed to have its own awards, its own events, its own TV shows, its own radio shows, you know what I mean? So HipHop Kaslam was like a building step towards that. Hence, I would allow other artists to actually do what I was doing. You know, like, be the creative director, you direct the show. I gave some other niggas to direct the show. I gave Udlambula opportunity to direct the show. Yeah, because I was trying to everyone to see, but like, there's nothing I'm taking here. I'm the one who's putting in here. That's why I would have other people getting in there and doing what I do and get to feel. You know what I mean? But not asking them to pop out their money. I would still pop out my money. I had Volcano there the other day, you know, like doing their thing. I had different people playing different roles. I saw to it that everyone will play a role. And even in the shows, the awards, I knew the people who were always in supportive of the culture. And they were the ones who would present the awards. These were not artists. These were people who were always involved in the culture. You know what I mean?
And you wouldn't obviously, do you want to be part?
No, exactly.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, beef was that you didn't ask them.
I asked a lot of people. I know Ukanye, for example, never performed to HipHop Kaslam, but I did approach her.
Okay.
I was like, yo, Ukanye, it's going to be a women's month. You know, I would like you. Yo, she chased me like, listen, dude, I kill niggas. I'm tired of these things. Always female, what, female, what. Why are you putting me on a show just for females? I was like, okay. I wasn't thinking all of that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it's
celebrating Women's Month.
HipHop Kaslam event.
Because you would always have it in your theme. So HipHop Kaslam, I remember. They had a theme.
You know what I mean? So then I was like, okay, she not interested to be part of this theme. It's fine. Let me just find someone else. You know what I mean? Not that I was never gonna book her again. You know, it was just that. Okay, I asked her for this theme. She didn't want to be. She wanted to be in a theme where there's also men. Yeah. Okay, it's fine. There will be that theme. But now this is the theme I'm looking for. So I took people who would be on that theme. You know?
It's okay.
It's okay. There will come another one that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I will keep trying. So it was not a matter of locking anyone outside.
Yeah.
It was just like, I can only have 3 acts each show.
Yeah, at a time.
And we had like 200 Spaza artists.
Sure.
Because I would do open mics
Yes.
and I would do open mics KwaMzulu. So I know the list because I would see it every weekend. So we had like 200.
Of abantu bafuna perform.
Exactly. And I could only take 3 a time, and the Baxter only gave me the theater twice a year.
Sure.
So you see, like,
yeah, it was not gonna work.
It was not gonna work. But
work.
niggas are not willing to understand. People just want to take it personal.
Was there a conversation between you no Tam Mbongo?
No, that nigga would just sneak in. Like they're on rehearsals, this nigga is in. Like there would be things that I'm asking for. Can I have a smoke machine? No. You can't get a smoke machine. We don't have. Oh, okay. And then we're doing rehearsals. Comes with Mbongo, and then he looks and he's like, Why you don't use a smoke machine there? I'll be like, I did ask for a smoke machine. They said I can't get it. Huh? Is it? Okay, let me go check somewhere. Brr, brr, smoke machine comes. And I'll be like, why is he able to get it but I don't get it? So he was being set up for me to actually ask him to do things like, but I saw through that. Like, man, this nigga is a house Negro. I saw through that. So I would let him offer what he offers, but I wouldn't go and ask him. So the idea was to actually make him my captain. His mission was to take over HipHop Kaslam and be in charge of it so that when the funding comes, he receives it because he was the trusted by Lara Food. He was the trusted guy by Lara Food. He's the guy who did the play going butt naked all over the world, you know, like that was written by Lara Food. You know, so like he's the guy that Lara would trust with the money than giving it to me. The one who's been packing the theater for the past 3 years.
Shoot. Now, within Spaza, who would you say are your top 5 artists that you would want to hear in one song? And let's take Ababa back in the day.
My top 5.
Yeah.
I think Al Pacino is on point.
Al Pacino?
Yeah. I think Al Pacino is on point.
Okay.
I think Redondo is on point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Redondo is on point. He's got a lot of potential as a Redondo outside 3 months.
Outside 3, yeah.
Yeah.
That's 2.
A lot of artists from now, I don't know, but I'm going way back.
Take from way back.
I would say Uri Bongs at Delft.
Okay.
Yeah, he would do. Rebongs, yeah,
he's
is
one
on
of the
point.
artists about he actually in the Spaza born.
Yeah, like I'm saying, just people go with whatever is on. You know, if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything.
Okay, that's 3.
It's just a fact, you know. Zanzolo.
Okay. That's your top 5.
Yeah, I just wanted to end off with those 2.
Okay.
Because the others I still had to think, oh, wait. But yeah.
Equal reason for the 2.
Undulamti no Zanzolo. They make me proud because I think their stroke and their hip hop, their signature is in line with what I stand for. You know? Yeah, like shaping the community, the society through music. You know what I mean? So I never had a conversation with them about it.
Yeah.
But I feel that they are on the same tip because that's what I do. You know what I mean? That's my angle. That's my stroke. You know, it's shaping the society through music. You know,
if kungat figure someone or willing to give you funding and say to you, bring back HipHop Kaslam, would you?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if it wasn't for funding, I'm sure HipHop Kaslam would be running because it delayed me. You know, like I would have been married long time. I would have had a house long time, and you know, me and my wife would have like already established our life long time. You know, but we delayed ourselves by actually trying to throw our money into something that will benefit the whole community. And they just thanked us with a plate of shit.
What's your take now, being OG? I'd love to hear on the kind of music, the kind of hip hop that esivayo today with ikets zalaphe elokshin abakhoyo. Do you even listen to them?
Oh God.
Do you even listen to them?
Yo.
I don't know how to take it.
Yo.
Yeah, Mama Mel.
I try. I find it so hard. I try, but I find it so hard that these guys, the hip hop that they do is like it's about bragging. It's about bragging. Yo, listen, I come from the days where MCs were the smart guys who would be selling drugs to the dumb guys to make money, to record albums and make money legit and get out of the drug game. Those were the MCs of the era where I got inspired into hip hop.
Okay.
Smart, intelligent guys who love reading books, like bookworms, Look at it today. It's actually the idiots who are drug addicts who are the superstars right now. Like Nama Parapara is superstars right now. We come from a culture where stay away from drugs, stay away from alcohol, look after yourself, my sister, don't be, look after yourself, my brother. We come from that culture where we always had backpacks because there's a novel that you're reading, there's a book that you're reading, that you always have a moment to just take out that book and read it. We had paper and pen, and our spelling was on point, not this WhatsApp spelling that these kids don't know how to write. They don't know how to they don't know how to spell words. And when you spell the word right, they don't know how to pronounce it when they read it because they don't even know how to spell it.
But Singati, it's working because Bayalanduga nationally, they're being recognized.
Well, they're being recognized, but you must also follow the order of what the state want. Right? Because what had happened to HipHop Kaslam posed a threat to the state. Why am I saying it posed a threat to the state? There was a movement that is owned by black people, run by black people, and benefiting black people in a white city as Cape Town. I know it had to be destroyed very quick.
It had to be stopped.
Yeah, it had to be destroyed.
So now they are doing it. No black people is benefiting.
No, they are doing what they've been asked to do. Encourage the rest of your peers to drink more alcohol, to take more drugs, and chase things that are useless. That is the mandate. See, Umpakanga, 100% South African music. How much airplay does it get? Why is it not getting as much as Amapiano? Because it is focused on real issues. The music is about real issues, that things that people experience on their daily basis, normal people. Now, the ruling class doesn't want you to be focused on that. No. They want you to work a 9 to 5 and have no time for your kids, spend your weekend gachisanyama eating drugs and booze. And when your kid gets hooked on drugs because his peers is singing about, I'm getting high, I'm getting high, I'm getting high, I'm getting high. You're not even there to see that when it happens. You notice it later when it's already para iliboko kileyo. You see? Which
is what we are seeing now on some of our MCs, some of the kids. That used to be,
That is the problem right now. It's like we grew up in this culture that was a cocoon for us. It protected us from everything that was happening in the weekend.
Wow.
So everyone was safe. Exactly. And when that got destroyed, when that culture got destroyed and there was no arenas, now people start going in wrong places. Because you must remember also, half of the hip-hop culture is actually privileged kids. Who wouldn't even play on the street. So they would only be allowed to go out in the street if they go for a performance or anything like that. You know, like these are kids who would be robbed in their own neighborhood. You know, like half the hip hop culture. I know because I grew up with these guys, you know, like, yeah, I know. Most of them, they're not like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not street
They're not
smart.
street smart. And even those who grew up after me, who actually tried to be that street smart, they got messed up by the streets. They and then they're like, because like the streets it requires a certain
it's hectic, eh?
yeah, you know what I mean. So you literally have to like grow up in the streets and not join the streets later. Because when you join the streets later, you don't know who's the shaker, you don't know who's the hoe, you don't know. You know, you only heard about these things. When you meet them in real life, it's a whole different game. It's going to turn you upside down. So you see kids who are not even looking like they would ever be involved in things like drugs and alcohol. Right now, they are on drugs and alcohol. You know what I mean? I mean, as I'm saying, emceeing back in the days was smart kids. The ones who were getting A's at school.
At school.
Those were the MCs back in those days. You know, we were competing on knowledge. And our music was about how much do you know? Can you share knowledge with us, you know?
Sure.
Kids today, they're not sharing knowledge. It's not about knowledge. It's a competition of who's drinking.
Yeah, ikhona enye line endiyithandayo enye ingoma umntana omncinci ithi mna ndi-hot apha ekasi bonke amajita ayandibulisa.
Is that a boy or a girl?
It's a girl. Mna ndi-hot apha ekasi amajita onke ayandibulisa.
You see, that's the new focus, man. I mean, think about it. Think of.
But wouldn't you say there's a guy?
Think of Mike Substance, who can, who Kanye. Like, do you think they would even say things like that? They wouldn't do that. That would be.
Asithi mabarephe ngento ezenzekayo yenzeka nje xa uhot ubuliswa kokoko.
I mean,
mna ndi-hot apha engingqina amajita ndibulisa oko.
Yeah, but is that what you all about? Is that what you all about? Because you see, this is the thing about being hot, eh? I know a lot of chicks who are hot, bruh. You know, and today
you married one.
I
married a very hot one.
Yeah, I married a hot one. Yeah, I was into hot chicks. I know a lot of them. Like today, when I looked at them, and I'm thinking, oh God, what the hell happened to you? You know what I mean? So being hot, and it's like all of those whose power was just about them being hot. See them today. Like those who were teenagers when I was a teenager, now that we're in our 40s, look at them today.
Hot is no longer hot.
Is no longer hot right now. And all of those who were not concerned about how hot they looked, you know, they were concerned about the state of their mind. They are still hot even today, bro. When you look at them, you're like, damn, girl, how did you look after yourself that long? You know what I mean? So there's a danger in focusing on I'm hot.
Just like that, there's a danger in focusing on alcohol and drugs.
Exactly. There's a danger in that. Like, you know, you're going to use that I'm hot. You're going to think everyone is owing you stuff because you're hot.
No one is coming.
No one owes you nothing. They just going to use and abuse and bruise you.
And then leave
and then dump you. You're just gonna be a voucher. That's all there is to it. Topic Yamachita, like when they talk about cars, they'll be talking about you. Because all of them, they had a run.
Ooh.
At different times, but they all had a run. You know what I mean? So
now what is
not good.
DAT the Dawn up to?
Oh well,
nowadays
I'm working on new projects. I'm trying to revive the culture. I'll say I'm trying because I don't know. I have a history of Chimali, so maybe people will be like, no, we don't want to be with that guy because Uchimali, they would say it. But I'm trying to revive it because I'm seeing something that breaks my heart.
Okay.
I'm seeing a lot of guys that I grew up with culture. Now they are hanging in the wrong places and they're getting beaten up. They're getting stabbed. They're getting jailed. They're getting drugged up because these are not their circulations. And the culture now doesn't have its own arena.
Safety net.
As I was saying, the culture was like a safety net for all of us because then it kept us away from everything else that was happening during weekends. You know what I mean? On weekend, we are in a hip-hop event, so I'm trying to bring that back for that particular reason because I'm seeing my brothers hanging in the wrong places. And there are some skills you can't learn when you're already old. You past that. You know what I mean? There are some skills that you learn when you're 10, when you're 13, when you're 18, and if you try to learn them at this age, they gonna mess you up. Like some things you don't want to try out. Exactly. So I mean, even for me, there are things that are happening today that I'll be like, I can't be part of this. You know what I mean? I couldn't even enjoy Ikom. When everyone was dancing to Ikom, it sounded like noise. It made me understand this. My mom, this is what she was hearing when I was playing my music loud.
Now we
hip-hop. Now it's like, hey, this Ikom thing. It's just noise. How?
Someone said when you OGs, you are still stuck in indlela makwenziwe ngazo kanye indlela makuculwe ngazo in the hip hop, how it must sound, what people must say. You're still stuck in the good old days. Hence you don't maybe relate to the new hip hop that's happening now with new kids on the block because they're winning awards.
Okay, now there's a difference between a Chuck Taylor, a original, and a Chuck Taylor, a Livovo. A Chuck Taylor, a Livovo, it's by majority of people. A Chuck Taylor, a original, it's ngabantu abambalwa. So the Chuck Taylor, a Livovo is winning the awards because everyone is chasing the Chuck Taylor, a Livovo.
Because it's affordable?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, no, Chuck Taylor, the all-star Chuck Taylor, bro. I can tell you, how do you differentiate the original Chuck Taylor from the Chuck Taylor? The Chuck Taylor line, ilapa, inomnyama, la rapa liya iklendawo. Inelapu inside it. It's as if a piece of fabric, if I go with paint, it dry as a wrapper. Yeah, because the more ipela, umanukuvela ilalapho. Now, if you look at a lot of Chuck Taylors, that's not the original Chuck Taylor.
Okay.
The original Chuck Taylor will always have ilalapho.
Okay, bring it back home.
Now, coming back home. Before I go back home, the original Chuck Taylor last 6 to 8 years.
Okay.
Is last 3 years. Right? Okay. So there are some music today, it might hit for the next 3 months. 3 months. 3 months. 3 months. Okay. Utethu nengoma yango 2008.
Yes.
Everyone can relate.
Yes.
Right? Gene Chivin. Ingoma ka DAT yango 2010. Story sechang.
Yeah.
People are still shopping it. People still holler at me. Yo, DAT, can I get that song? Yo, DAT, can I have that album? Yo, DAT. It's timeless. Every era, that song will. You know what I mean? So, I would rather make music that is timeless than make what is hip today and flop tomorrow. Hip flop.
Hip to the flop, hip hop, you don't
like
stop.
Today, flop tomorrow. Nah. You know, that's why you won't find me singing about the latest sneaker, because next year it's not latest anymore. You know,
So
the song is outdated. It's gone. It's useless now. It's not the in thing. So that's the difference between these new guys and us, right? Kendrick Lamar in America, he's one of the new guys. But when he came, he dropped that boom bap in an era trap. And guess who won all the awards? The guy who's doing the boom bap in the era trap. Huh? He even inspired J. Cole to actually like, wait a minute, this is what I wanted to do, boom bap. And now he's also on boom bap and he's winning awards. So like, nothing beats timeless music. 2015. Lil Wayne and Rick Ross releasing all the time. You know, these guys are talking about, I got millions. I'm thinking, damn, these guys must be number one in the world. Let me check the world charts. Who's the most selling artist in the world? I thought I would see these guys, and then I saw these guys as Leligoma number 15, number 13. I'm like, who's number one? So when I checked to see who's number one, guess who was number one? Sade.
Okay.
Sade. You know how many albums Sade got? 2. 2 albums. And they are the most selling, number one selling artist in the world. Timeless music.
We still play it today.
Again, that word, timeless music. And so for me, it's about that. It's about making timeless music, not music of that era or this era, or like timeless music. It will fit in every era.
Nobagunini. I know. Yeah. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta close it out. DAT, man, you can never stop. You see how much information we got today with regards to Spaza, with regards to Iringas, regards to the game J movement Yonge in Cape Town. Again, thank you so much for coming through DAT. Thank you for paving the way for Abafana, because you were one of the people who played a big role in my career. So yeah, man. Until next time, see ya.
What's that?
Telling me what I want up in the streets. Me live me life and me not stress.